Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel Garima Life Science Academy. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about biochemistry part 4. The topic is types of cell. In this lecture, we are going to see the types of cell. What are the types of cell? Different types of cell based on different properties. So, first, the types of cells. In this case, there are two types of cell, mainly prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. There are two types of cells, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotes, the prokaryotes lack nucleus. In prokaryotes, there is no absent of nucleus, and prokaryotes are single-celled organism. Prokaryotes are single-celled organism. In eukaryotes, possess a nucleus. Eukaryotic cells possess a nucleus, single-celled or multicellular organism. But in case of prokaryotes, they are single-celled organism. In prokaryotes, there are two types of further bacteria and archaea. In prokaryotes, there are two types of category bacteria and archaea. But in eukaryotes, there are four types of cells. First is animal cell, second is plant cell, third is fungus cell, or fourth is protist cell. So in eukaryotes, we saw the four types of cell: animal cell, plant cell, fungi cell, and protist cell. Here is the diagram. In this diagram, we can show the structure of eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cells, and what is the similarity between eukaryotes and prokaryotes. So here is the main center. It is, we can say, it is a nucleus, and inside the nucleus the genetic material are present. We call it as nucleoid. In nucleus, in nucleoid means in prokaryotes nucleus is absent, so there is a nucleoid. In nucleoid, the genetic material DNA or RNA is present in nucleoid. But in case of eukaryotes, there is a nucleus. Nucleus is present. Well known nucleus is present. Inside the nucleus, there is a nucleolus, and inside the nucleus, genetic material are present. And here is the mitochondria, finger-like projections. We call it as mitochondria, powerhouse of cell. And dots like structure present in eukaryotes and prokaryotes both. We call it as ribosomes. And membrane bound organelles. In eukaryotes, membrane enclosed nucleus and membrane bound organelles like mitochondria, nucleolus, and other. But in prokaryotes, there is a presence of capsule. Capsule is an outer layer of prokaryotic cells. It is not present in all cells, but present in some prokaryotes. Capsule. It protects the prokaryotes from external stimuli or external environment. Here it is a flagella. It will help to moving. Flagella will help to movement of prokaryotic cells. And the outer covering layer. After that, outer covering layer is known as cell wall. Cell wall present in some eukaryotic cells, not in all. Here is a cell membrane. Before cell wall, there is a presence of cell membrane inside the inside the layer. We call it as cell membrane. So overall, it is the structure of eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell, like different organelles, mitochondria, ribosomes, nucleolus, and Golgi body, etc. In prokaryotes, we saw the nucleoid where genetic material is present, ribosomes, capsules, slimy layers, flagellum or cell wall in some eukaryotes, and last is cell membrane. So we saw in prokaryotes bacteria and archaea, but in eukaryotes animal cell, plant cell, fungi cell, and protista. In this diagram, we are going to show the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells. And what is the similarity between prokaryotes and eukaryotes? There is some similarity. So we are going to show the similarity and differences between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cells are small and simple. But in eukaryotic cells are large and complex. And their size is 0.1 to 5.0 micrometer in size. Prokaryotic cell is 0.1 to 5 micrometer in size, but in case of eukaryotes it is 10 to 100 micrometer in size. Means eukaryotic cell are large and complex as compared to prokaryotic cells, and prokaryotic cells are always unicellular. But in case of eukaryotes may be unicellular or multicellular. In prokaryotic cells, nucleus is absent, and in eukaryotic cells, nucleus is present. But in prokaryotes, circular DNA is circular, but in case of eukaryotes, the DNA is linear DNA is present. And the chromosome in prokaryotes is single haploid, n number of chromosome, but in case of eukaryotes, paired diploid chromosome, means 2n number of chromosome are present in eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cells lack membrane bound organelles, means in prokaryotes there is no membrane bound organelles are present, but in case of eukaryotes has membrane bound organelles like nucleus, mitochondria and other organelles. In prokaryotic cells are reproduced by both sexual and asexual mode of reproduction, but eukaryotic cells mostly reproduce through sexual reproduction. In prokaryotic cells, cell division by binary fission. In prokaryotic cells, cell division by binary fission, but in case of eukaryotic cells, cell division by mitosis. In eukaryotic cells, the cell division mode is mitosis, but in case of prokaryotes, the cell division is through binary fission. Examples are bacteria and archaea cells. In example of prokaryotic cells are bacterial cell and archaeal cells. Examples are plant cells, animal cells, including human cells. These are example of eukaryotic cells. And what are the similarity between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cells? There is some similarity. Like first one is have cell plasma membrane. In both, like prokaryotes and eukaryotes have cell oblique plasma membrane. It is a common similarity between eukaryotes and prokaryotes. And have cytoplasm. In both cells, like prokaryotes and eukaryotes, have cytoplasm. And third similarity is that have ribosomes. In prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells both have ribosomes. Ribosomes help in protein synthesis and have DNA. There is a 4 common similarity like presence of cell membrane, cytoplasm, presence of ribosomes and DNA. DNA is also present in both eukaryotes and prokaryotic cells. Here is the another difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes with different tables and different flow charts. So we are going to saw the difference. Like it is the characteristic features eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. First one is definition. Definition क्या है? What is the definition of eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells? Any cells that contain a clearly defined nucleus and membrane bound organelles are called as eukaryotic cells. In case of prokaryotic cells, any unicellular organism that does not contain a membrane bound nucleus or organelles. Prokaryotic cells does not contain membrane bound nucleus or organelles. Second one is example. Examples of eukaryotic cells are animal cell, plant cell, fungi and protist cells. But in case of bacterial cells, in case of prokaryotic, it is an example of bacteria and archaeal cells are example of prokaryotic cells. Third characteristics of nucleus. In eukaryotic cells, nucleus is present, like it is a membrane bound organelle. But in case of prokaryotes, it is absent. Nucleoid region is present in case of nucleus. Cell size. In case of eukaryotic cells, the cell size is large, 10 to 100 micrometer in size. But in case of prokaryotes, cell size is small, less than a micrometer to 5 micrometer. Next is cell size, and next is DNA replication. DNA replication in eukaryotic cell is highly regulated with selective origins and sequences. But in case of prokaryotic cells, replicates entire genome at once. In prokaryotics, the replication is going to happen in once, means one time complete replication of whole genome. Organism types. Usually, eukaryotic cells are multicellular in nature, but it may unicellular also. But in case of prokaryotic cells, it is always unicellular in nature. Chromosome. More than one chromosome are present in eukaryotic cells, but in case of prokaryotic cells, one long single loop of DNA and plasmid are present in prokaryotic cells. Ribosomes. In eukaryotic cells, ribosomes are large. In case of prokaryotes, it is small. Growth rate and generation time. The growth rate of eukaryotic cells is slower as compared to eukaryotic cells. As compared to prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells have higher rate of growth generation and growth rate, faster rate. Organelles. Eukaryotic cells have present all the organelles, but in prokaryotic cells, organelles are absent. Ability to store the hereditary information. All eukaryotic cells have this ability, but in prokaryotes, all prokaryotes have this ability. Means this characteristic feature is common in both, like eukaryotes and prokaryotic cells. Cell wall. Simple, present in plants and fungi. In case of eukaryotes, the cell wall is present in fungi and plant cells. But in case of prokaryotic cells, cell wall is complex, present in all prokaryotes. Cell wall present in all prokaryotic cells. Plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is present in both eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cells, and cytoplasm is also present in both eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. So we saw some characteristics, features of eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells, and difference between eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Here we are going to saw the difference between plant cell and animal cell, like how many features are common in both and how they are differ from each other, like plant cells and animal cells. So here is the plant cells, their features, structural differences, and animal cells. So first one is cell wall. In plant cells, presence of a definite cell wall mode of cellulose. In plant cells, cellulose, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. But in case of animal cell, cell wall is absent. In animal cells, there is absence of cell wall. Second one is cell membrane. Present internal to the cell wall. In plant cells, it is present in internal of cell wall. But in case of animal cell, forms the boundary of cell. In case of animal cell, it forms the boundary of cell. Third feature is centrosome. Centrosome is absent in plant cell but present in animal cell. Fourth is centriole. Centriole is absent in plant cells and present in animal cells. And fifth characteristic feature is vacuole. Vacuole is presence of one or more prominent vacuole in plant cells. Means in plant cells there is one or more vacuole is present with large in size. But in animal cells, the vacuole is small and temporary vacuoles, like not sometimes may be found, or it is very small in size. And sixth feature is plastid. Presence of plastid in plant cells, and the plastid are absent in animal cell. And here are all these things. 6 property are based on structural differences. Now we are going to saw the functional differences between animal cell and plant cell. Size. Usually larger with distinct outlines. Plant cells are large in size, and animal cell usually smaller with less distinct boundary. Animal cells are small in size as compared to plant cell. Cytoplasm. Not so dense. Cytoplasm are not so dense in plant cells but denser and more granular in animal cells. And third property is arrangement of cytoplasm. Only a thin lining of cytoplasm which is mostly pushed to the periphery. Cytoplasm is pushed in periphery, and only a thin lining of cytoplasm present in plant cells. But in case of animal cells, cytoplasm fill up almost the entire cell. Like in animal cells, cytoplasm is filled up almost the entire cells of animal cell. And the shape. The plant cell is rectangular in shape, but animal cell is spherical in shape. So animal cell is spherical in nature and plant cell is rectangular in nature. Storage material. What is storage material in plant and animal? So storage material in plant cell is starch, but in case of animal cell it is glycogen. So we saw 6 structural differences between plant cell and animal cell, and 5 functional differences between animal cell and plant cells. In the last slide, we are going to show the difference or some similarity between bacteria, archaea and eukarya. Like how many characteristics features are common in three of bacteria, archaea and eukarya, and how many properties are different in bacteria, archaea and eukarya. So this table will contain traits. Here is bacteria, archaea and eukarya. So first property is carbon linkage of lipids. First property is carbon linkage of lipid. In case of bacteria, it is ester linkage. In case of archaea, it is ether linkage. But in case of eukarya, it is also ester linkage. Second property is phosphate backbone of lipid. Phosphate backbone of lipid. In case of bacteria, it is glycerol 3-phosphate. In case of archaea, it is glycerol 1-phosphate. But in case of eukaryotes, it is glycerol 3-phosphate. Third trait is metabolism. Bacteria do bacterial metabolism. Archaea also same like bacterial like, but in eukarya it is eukaryotic metabolism. Fourth feature is nucleus. Nucleus is absent in bacteria and archaea but present in eukaryotes. Organelles is also absent in bacteria and archaea but present in eukaryotes. Spliceosomal introns. Introns are also absent in bacteria and archaea but present in eukarya. Telomeres. Telomeres is also absent in bacteria and archaea and present in eukaryotes. Chromosome shape. Chromosome shape in bacteria is mostly circular. In case of archaea it is also circular, but in case of eukarya it is linear in shape. Seventh feature is DNA replication. DNA replication is in case of bacteria it is bacterial mode, in case of archaea it is eukaryotic like, and in case of eukarya it is like eukaryotic. And transcription. Transcription in case of bacterial it is bacterial like, DNA replication and transcription is going on parallel together. In case of archaea it is like eukaryotic like. First going to happen replication, after that transcription, then post transcription modification, then translation. Same in case of eukarya also, the transcription is going after replication, not parallel. Translation is also like bacterial like. In case of archaea it is eukarya like, in case of eukarya and it is eukaryotic like. So we saw the some features are common, like bacteria and archaea are more similar on the basis of nucleus, organelle, spliceosome intron and telomeres. All four properties are absent in bacteria and archaea also but present in eukaryotes. But these three properties of archaea is more similar to eukaryotes as compared to bacteria. So some properties are different and some properties are similar. So in this lecture we saw the different types of cell like prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. In eukaryotic cells we saw the 4 types of cell: animal, plant, fungi and protist. But in case of prokaryotes we saw the bacteria and archaea cells. After that we saw the difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cells with diagram in detail, and after that we saw the difference between animal cell and plant cells, like how many features are common in plant cells and in animal cells and how many features are different in plant and animal cell. And in last we saw the bacteria, archaea and eukarya, like difference between bacteria, archaea and eukarya, and we saw the differences and some common similarity between bacteria, archaea and eukaryotes. Bacteria is not similar to eukarya, but in some features archaea is more closer to eukarya, and in some features also eukarya is also similar with bacteria. So we saw all these differences in this lecture. If you like my notes, lectures and videos, you can share this my YouTube channel Garima Life Science Academy with your friends and juniors, so that they will get more benefit if they are planning or preparing for CSIR GATB Don't forget to share with your friends. Thank you.